Hi everyone, and welcome to the first installment in Dragon Quest Monster Memories, this time for the first Dragon Quest game. Some might know it as Dragon Warrior. I know it as also Dragon Warrior, but also Dragon Quest. And there's a lot of memories with this game. I bought this art book several years back at a comic book store in Manhattan, Dragon Quest Illustrations, and I got the Japanese copy. It was later localized and translated, but the memories are still there. The art is beautiful, and I did a video on it several years back, but I've kind of wanted to archive my experience with the games and be able to really show off a lot of the art that is in the book as I play through the games. As some of you know, I played through Dragon Quest 1 recently. My friend Spencer and I talked on it over on his YouTube channel, RPG Archive. He also uploads to Apple Podcasts, so good for him. So you can check us out there if you want to listen to my full thoughts on the game. But for now, I thought I'd have a nice chill session talking about the art and the monsters of Dragon Quest 1. So flipping through this book, I noticed that it's a little bit out of order. Just as you turn the page for Dragon Quest 1, the final boss is right there. So I'm going to jumble the order a little bit. I'm going to talk about the monsters sequentially as you see them in the game. So on the second page, on the very left, is the slime, the icon of Dragon Quest, the emblem. Some might say it's one of gaming's greatest mascots. And I happen to like this slime, but in this game it's particularly unmemorable. There's a slime, a color code variant red slime, and then another color code variant metal slime. Obviously, many people know the metal slime as being the one that's almost invulnerable and will run away at the soonest possible interval. I've not found a way to kill a metal slime in the first game. They always run. But the other slimes are just easy. You know, even when you start the game and you're level 1, you come out and you battle a slime, you're not going to lose to a slime. That just does not happen. So, iconic, yes, but for being fodder for slaughter. Next up is the Draki, and there are several variants, including the Magidraki and the Drakima. As cute as this character is, I also find it particularly unmemorable. I can't think of any times I've taken serious damage from a Draki in Dragon Quest 1. I just kind of know it as the second major enemy unit that you fight in the game. Cute, though. We have a couple unmemorable monster units in the Ghost and the Scorpion, both of which have several variants in the Spectre and Poltergeist for the Ghost, and the Metal Scorpion and the Rogue Scorpion for the Scorpion. I don't remember anything about these. They were not memorable in this game at all. One monster that is, though, is the Chimera, also known as a Wyvern. This one has two variants in the game, including the Majora Wyvern and the Star Wyvern. And I found these a little more memorable because they're actually a decently challenging monster unit, especially as you get to the Star Wyvern. One of them casts Snooze and then also Mid-Heal, and so and it also takes away a fair chunk of life when it attacks you. So I found that nice as a sort of challenge as you're going farther in the game, because you're kind of more attentive to the otherwise mostly grinding RPG combat once you come into battle with some of the more advanced wyverns. The Wolf is another unit I found particularly unremarkable. I don't find these units particularly strong. I do like the color palettes and they look cool, but they don't really bring much to the table. They come in variants of Wolf, Wolf Lord, and Werewolf. I do, however, really like the Skeleton in this game, and interestingly enough, this one has 4 variants, including Skeleton, Wraith, Wraith Knight, and Demon Knight. Although in the version I was playing, I believe it was called like a Shadow Knight or a Spectre Knight. It definitely wasn't a Shovel Knight. I like this one because it's, like the Chimera, very challenging, and one of the upgrades to the monster unit, as you keep fighting them, he gets a sword, so he does some serious damage as you progress further in the game. While the initial skeleton isn't the biggest threat, the later ones certainly are. Okay, now we can turn the page and we have several monster units, many of which on this page are forgettable, but one that is not is the dragon. There are a couple color-coded variants of the dragon throughout the game, including the green dragon, the red dragon, and the blue dragon, but most people will know the green dragon from what they've played of Dragon Quest I because you can see it on screen blocking the princess in one of the caves. And it's a particularly memorable moment in the game. You save the princess from the dragon, and it ends up affecting nothing in the game. But the entire encounter was pretty cool. It has a high hit point gauge, so you're in for a decent battle, especially if you don't have the fairy flute. The later dragons are cool as well. I do like the red and blue ones in the castle Charlock. The other three units on this page I find particularly unremarkable, but we can talk about each of them. The two underneath the dragon are the Droll and the Druin, with the variants of Droll Magi and Druin Lord. These are cave dwellers, and they just honestly didn't do much. You'd think they'd be like high defensive units, but really they weren't much of anything. So I had no memories of these things other than, oh, these are weird. The mage or magician has potential here as a fierce, combative, magic-wielding enemy unit, but I don't think it lasts or leaves much of an impression by the end of the game. The variants of the magician are Warlock and Wizard. And on the page next to it, it's entirely dedicated to one enemy unit with three variants, the Golem. Now, the Golem is not the first of that kind, but it's the most memorable one, and we see it in other iconic Dragon Quest spin-offs even, like Builders and Heroes. The first form of the Golem is called the Gold Man, and you see it on the southeastern continent and earn almost no experience but tons of gold when you destroy them. And then when you come to the town of Cantlin, you fight the Golem, and it ends up being a decent battle. It's relatively challenging, and you might need the fairy flute to take him down. In fact, you probably do. The third rendition of the Golem is the Stone Man, and is also found in the castle Charlock. Really cool enemy unit. It's probably one of the most underrated, and you know, a lot of people talk about the slime, but this one's pretty cool itself. And this takes us back to the first page of Monsters, where I'm going to skip the end boss for now and talk about one of the sub-bosses, which is the Axe Knight. So this one has several forms. The one you see on the page is the Knight, and then there's the Axe Knight, and then there's the Armored Knight. I believe the Axe Knight is one that you fight in the town of Hawk's Nest, and it's like an abandoned town, and there's like one random patch of swamp that you fight the Axe Knight on, and supposedly a really hard battle. I didn't have much of a hard time with it as long as your armor upgrades are good. They are relatively strong combative units, though. I do like fighting them. So not a bad monster by any means. And then at the top here we have the final boss of the game, the Dragon Lord, in two forms, the standard form and the final form. I won't say much about it, although it was a good boss battle, and I'll direct you to the feature-length podcast I did with Spencer over on his channel to hear more about our impressions of the Dragon Lord. With that being said, those are my memories of the monsters of Dragon Quest I. What are yours? What's your favorite monster from this game, and why is it not the Druin? I'd love to know. Leave your responses in the comments below, and I'll talk to you soon.